financial and geopolitical from a frontier, and thank you as always for stopping by. Coming to Africa, Ethiopia's new leaders are clearing house. In the nation's political transformation gathers pace. Among the targets, officials at a military-linked conglomerate once in charge of building Africa's biggest hydropower plant, former spy chiefs and elites in the gas-rich East. Touting a crackdown on the cancer, corruption and rights abuses, Abiy Ahmed has vowed to usher in greater accountability and political freedom for the continent's second most populous nation. His recent confrontation with military officers shows not everyone may welcome the shake-up. Like in the security sector, a purge is being cascaded into the region, said Musa Adam, an independent political analyst based at Jijjiga, the capital of Somali regional state in the east. Things are very much under control, but we're lagging behind in terms of quickly reforming the party, according to Mustafa. Look, I wrote about him. I said he's the most consequential politician, African politician since Mandela. But it's no easy task, and he continues to make progress. Jose Eduardo Dos Santos called a press conference yesterday afternoon to respond to President Lourenço. He says the state coffers were not left empty when he left power, and that there were $15 billion in there. He did not take answers from the media. Things are indeed thick. Remembering this time just before sundown, exactly a year ago, and rushing to the streets of downtown Harare to witness the most extraordinary celebrations of Mugabe's resignation after 37 years in power. This is Zoe Flood, and this was a picture she took that night, and how disappointed those people are. Today is the big day, and how disappointed they are today. Today is the big day as Finance Minister presents his budget. We will bring it closer to you with our in-depth analysis. It's voodoo economics, I'm afraid. Zimbabwe filling stations run dry due to currency shortages. Some filling stations in Zimbabwe's capital have run out of gasoline as the country deals with currency shortages. When the foreign currency is eventually released, it takes some time to arrange the transport logistics to deliver the fuel to affected stations. There are many competing demands on the available foreign currency. Foreign exchange shortages, fueling inflation, and inability to raise foreign loans because of $5.6 billion of debt arrears. Last month they signed a gasoline supply agreement with a unit of Trafigura. Campaigning for critical election opens in crisis-wrecked DR Congo, AFP Africa. May the best person win, said the head of the electoral board. Votes on December 23rd will choose a successor to outgoing President Kabila, who has constitutionally remained in power as caretaker leader, even though his second and final elected term ended nearly 2 years ago. He's very much in charge. The opposition is simply fractured. African Eurobond spreads stretch past 500 basis points. The emerging market round is taking an especially heavy toll on African government debt. Spreads on the continent's sovereign Eurobonds have widened to 506 basis points, the most in 2 years. They've climbed 166 basis points in 2018, compared with the 101 average for emerging markets. I wrote about this in February 2018 when I think my timing was nearly perfect. Interestingly, JP Morgan's MB spread is down to 258 basis points, I said, the tightest since May 2014. How long this lasts, I said, is anybody's guess. Zambia Holds Rate in 2014 lows and inflation pressure persists. Inflation accelerated to an almost 2-year high of 8.3%. Foreign exchange reserves declined to $1.63 billion at the end of September, enough to cover just 1.9 months of imports. And then I got an email from Stanbic, and they're talking about the currency, saying it might remain well anchored in the near term, but there's a strong likelihood that the combination of a persistent decline in FX reserves and the government's mounting external debt service requirements will push it higher in the medium term. Stanbic Uganda sees 2019 June as the close for a $2.5 billion debt deal for Uganda's oil pipeline. To jointly develop a pipeline that has been described as the longest electrically heated crude oil pipeline in the world will cost $3.5 billion. People like the project. The economics of the pipeline make a lot of sense. I think we're looking at sometime in June next year for financial close, covering a distance of 1,445 kilometers. 24-inch diameter pipeline will start near the oil fields in western Uganda and terminate at Tanzania's Indian Ocean seaport of Tanga. South African oil shares down 13.76% this year. Dollar versus Rand 13.9567. The Rand was firm yesterday. Egyptian pound 17.9610. Nigerian oil shares minus 16.4% year to date. Ghana Stock Exchange about to go negative, just up 0.64% year to date. Tristan McConnell tweeted photos stringer in the sleepy hamlet of Chakama, where we had this abduction, is making hay with today's kidnapping. The AFDB group has lent Kenya $268 million to complete the country's biggest dam. The support for Thwake Dam in Makueni County follows an initial loan of €76 million the bank gave to begin construction in 2013. First phase should be finished in December 2022 and supply water to the semi-arid county and surrounding regions, including Konza. When complete, Thwake will be able to store 681 million square meters for uses including hydropower and irrigation. On the 6th of November, I wrote an article about the shilling, and I was saying that I thought the IMF were overblown in their concerns. They were talking about a 17.5% overvaluation. I agree with the central bank. Our calculations support the view that there is no fundamental misalignment reflected in our exchange rate. And I was talking about the central bank's FX operations being really an outlier when you compare them to any other central bank on the continent, and saying that, they obviously smooth lumpiness, but that is prudent and sensible. And I was saying the key level to watch was 105 to 107. The shilling was last at 102.40, and confounding the naysayers. Nairobi all share down 15.87% year to date. KenGen slaps Kenya Power with a 1 billion shilling fine for payment delays. A lot of detail in that article in The Nation. And let me finally end up with the NSE 20, which is minus 25.4% so far this year. Thanks for stopping